So I'm going to be taking you through a demo of ClearBooks and how we've solved the MTD for income tax problem. So I'll just start talking about just some of the fundamentals of ClearBooks. So those of you who are familiar with ClearBooks, you'll know how it works as a strong foundation. You can use any or all of the input tools to get your accounting data into ClearBooks. We've got some great features like bank feeds and auto bills and auto explain. ClearBooks operates a full ledger system, so all the double entry is there in the background, and you can use as much or as little as you want. Digital record keeping, digital links are all built in, so you know you're compliant. Then with ClearBooks as your foundation, you can easily prepare and file MTD returns, generate client reports, export data for analysis, or integrate with other systems. So I'm going to run you through a live demo now. I'll take you through the one-off onboarding process, and then we'll submit some quarterly updates to HMRC, and then I'll take you through a couple of slides looking at the end of year process. So let's go and jump into the software now. Right, so I've got a sole trader set up here in ClearBooks, and we're looking at this sole trader's dashboard. What I'll do first of all is I'll just quickly create a few new digital records. So I'll start off with my bills inbox. So there's some bills to review already in this bills inbox, and I'm going to upload a new file for the current quarter. So I've got an invoice here. Let's load that in. So this is going to use the ClearBooks OCR and AI models to extract the information from that bill, and then we can review that and then save it to our purchase ledger. So there it is. Let's click on that one. So that's extracted information from that bill. And if I'm happy with that, I can just save it. So that's now a new digital record for that particular new expenditure. Let's jump back to the dashboard and we'll add a couple more new records, and we'll do that via the bank feed. So this particular sole trader's got 5 new transactions on their bank account. So I can click on that to go and see what those transactions are. Now I could go through and manually explain these or reconcile these. I could match it with existing records in ClearBooks, or allocate to outstanding bills or invoices, or just create it as new expenditure. But rather than doing that, I'll just very quickly do that using this auto explain feature. So I hit the button. I can choose what type of bank transactions I want to auto explain. And I can also opt to always run this. So for this sole trader, they don't need to come in here and run this button. They can just switch this on, and then as soon as a bank feed update happens, whether it's in the middle of the night or the middle of the day, it'll just automatically process these transactions. So I'll run that now, and that's going to look through any unexplained transactions on that bank feed and automatically process it. So that's now explained those 5 transactions. So we've got an invoice that's been paid, another invoice that's been part paid. We've got some recurring expenditure for travel and advertising. And there's this frameworks building bill that I uploaded a second ago. So the payment's been made on the bank account, and that's been automatically allocated. So there you go. Just wanted to create a few new digital records there before we look at the MTD for income tax. So let's go and sign up this sole trader, or get this sole trader set up for MTD for income tax. So let's navigate there. So the first time you come here, you'll be asked to set up. So this is just a one-off process. And to get started, you can see the different brackets, the different thresholds at which people will be automatically signed up. For this scenario, this sole trader is already signed up voluntarily for the April 25 start. So we can get this account set up for this individual. So the national insurance number, that's the key identifier that links this individual to HMRC and their income sources. If they haven't got an HMRC account set up, there's a link here that will take them to that. And for agents, this link will take you to your agent online account, and you can sign up. You can go directly to the HMRC page for signing up for MTD for income tax from this setup page. And again, for agents, this will take you through to your agent's account where you can sign up multiple clients for MTD for income tax. The next step, I just need to authorize ClearBooks to be able to read and submit information for this particular individual. So I'll hit that button. I'll now be logging into HMRC with this individual's credentials. For agents, you're just doing this once for all of your clients. So you just need to authorize ClearBooks once. And then you'll be able to submit information for each of your individuals. Let's just hit that step. Okay. So now we've authorized ClearBooks for this individual. It's now going to show any business income sources. So this is data coming directly from HMRC for this individual. So they've just got one self-employment business, and I'm going to map that to this particular ClearBooks account, and it will show me the information that's held on the HMRC side for that particular business. Hit next, and that's it, we're done. So that's the one-off process done. This individual doesn't need to do it again. And as I said, for agents, once they've authorized once, they won't need to do that again. So they just need to basically enter in the national insurance number and select the business income source for individual clients. Right, so let's now go and look at the submissions page. So we're looking at the 25-26 tax year, and we've got this laid out as 4 individual submissions and then the total for the tax year at the end. As you can see, for each of these submission periods, it's cumulative, as David mentioned earlier. So every period starts from the 6th of April and then runs to the end of that particular quarter. So we're currently in April, so everything's at preview at the moment. But what I'm going to do is just very quickly jump forward in time to July so we can see what happens there, and we can actually do some submissions. So if I refresh this page now. So we're now in July. The first quarter is complete. I can now go and review this. So it will always show me like a summary of the profit and loss for that particular period. When I go into review, I can see the breakdown of that. This is currently showing me just the total expenses because I'm underneath the 90,000 threshold for submitting separate expense categories. But if you want to do it, you can still manually choose to view the full expense categories. And that will automatically separate out the digital records within ClearBooks into the different expense categories. If you want to go and interrogate this to see what these numbers are, you can just click on any of these and it will drill down to the individual transactions that make it up. There's that new bill that was uploaded. You can click right into that. So you can see the double entry in the ledger, and you can go right back to the original source document and even to the uploaded invoice. So as you can see, the MTD submissions are all built from the underlying digital records. So let's jump back to that submission period. So there we go. So if we're happy with that period, I can just one-click submit to HMRC. And that's it. That's that quarter done. So that obligation is met. We've used HMRC recognized software to send income and expenditure totals to HMRC. Let's go back to the overview, and we can see that that particular period has been submitted, and that's it. We don't need to do anything for another 3 months. I can click on the details to go and view it. So this will read that data back from HMRC. So I can always see the last submission that was done. This is obviously read only because this is now the HMRC data that they're holding for this particular business. Right, I'm now going to just jump forward again. Let's go to October. We'll refresh this now. So I can preview any period, but now we're in October. This one's ready to submit. So let's click on review to submit to check that one. So again, I can drill down to see the data. As we can see, there's now data here for the second quarter of the year, but we've also got, because it's cumulative, we've also got all the transactions from the start of the year. So we don't need to worry about making any corrections for previous submissions. As David said, each submission was always going to overwrite the previous one, and it's always cumulative for the whole tax year. So the same process, one click to submit, and it's quarter 2 done. If we jump back to the overview, we can now see that both of those quarters are submitted. I can't now go and view the previous submission because, as I said, HMRC only ever stores one submission for that tax year. But I can go and see the submission to if I need to. So then, as you can see, it's a very, very straightforward process. There's no requirement for the user to declare that the information is accurate or complete. So it's really down to how pragmatic you want to be as an agent, whether you want to just like check that the records are fundamentally correct and submit those, or you can actually use it as an opportunity to check for any errors or making sure that data is accurate before submitting. Okay, so that's the onboarding process and the submission process. What I'll do now is I'll now take us forward to the year end. So, as David mentioned, for those who are on the MTD for income tax, there is no tax return anymore. They don't go to the HMRC site to submit a tax return. You need to use software to complete the year end process. So in ClearBooks, we're going to make this just as simple as our standard ClearBooks software. So this will be a dashboard-based approach where you'll be able to see your self-employment income from your different different sole trades. You'll be able to see your UK property income, your foreign income, and then any other income sources. You'll also be able to use this to go and manually enter like savings, interest, dividends income, etc. And then you'll always be able to see the latest real-time tax calculation for this individual for this tax year. So if you wanted to view the tax calculation, you'll be able to see a breakdown of how that's made up. So you can then just go forward and enter in all the equivalent of the tax return information. And then once everything's complete and you're happy that that is the correct income tax and NI total for this individual for the year, you'll click a button to finalize the tax position, and then you'll get the standard final declaration text. So the individual will check this box and say, yep, I've finalized the tax position. And that's it. That's the year-end process done. So it's the equivalent of the tax return. Much of it is the same information as a tax return, but it doesn't need to be in the same format as a tax return. And we're going to make it as simple as possible for anyone to complete the MTD obligations for an individual. So seeing how ClearBooks keeps digital records, automating data entry and bank reconciliation, and then how simple it is to submit quarterly updates. And we've seen a preview of the year-end process and how this will retain the straightforward user experience that all our current ClearBooks users are used to. So with that, I will thank you very much for watching this demo, and I will hand it.